For the far north, this disaster is unprecedented. Jaw-dropping amounts of rain have wrought widespread havoc.
It's no longer the Captain Cook Highway, it's the Captain Cook River.
The record-breaking deluge has threatened lives, destroyed properties and isolated towns. Just before midnight, at Wujal Wujal, the water rose quickly.
We had to swim out of it. I had my dog there as well.
There was no help coming as 16 people, including a 7-year-old boy, took refuge on roofs.
Mate, there's no one up here. We're pretty much on our own.
The Deputy Mayor returned this morning to find his childhood home, everything he owns, destroyed.
Lucky we got out of here. We lost everything. We had, have photos.
Patients and staff spent a terrifying night trapped on the roof of the local clinic before getting themselves to safety. Isolated and without power, the clock is ticking for the whole community to be evacuated.
An attempt was made to aerially evacuate Wujal Wujal today, but unfortunately the rain and cloud is still too strong.
With lives in the balance, the Army has been brought in to help.
This event is not over.
Dan Bateman's Cairns home is knee-deep in brown water. He was among 30 people who huddled together in torrential rain on the roof of a house before being rescued.
We had to dodge fridges floating past, big branches. At one point, someone said there was a cow coming down the road.
They're now safe in an evacuation centre.
We went to the bus and we came here.
Emergency crews spent today ferrying people to safety across the raging Barron River.
There are some individual locations that it is very difficult to get to.
Stephanie Schumacher escaped her flooded home with her daughter and pets.
Horrible. Horrible. It was really horrible.
North of Cairns, devastation in Mossman. The SES has responded to more than 40 requests for help every hour for the past 24 hours.
What we've seen over the last couple of days has been absolutely devastating.
This exhausted wallaby was saved.
Attaboy.
To the south, in the centre of Ingham, a potent reminder of what can lurk in floodwater.
You always wanted to see a crocodile?
The 2.8-metre croc was soon roped, wrangled and safely stowed.
Tightened the noose up and basically played him like a fish.
A spectacle for locals. It'll end up in a farm or zoo.
Crocs everywhere here now.
The Euramo pub, temporarily more like a yacht club.
We do understand that there is a lot of places in North Queensland that are absolutely devastated by these floods. We're lucky our water disperses very quickly.
While the rain has eased for now and floodwaters are receding, the far north is not out of the woods yet. Many residents are still without power, roads are damaged, and people are being asked to conserve drinking water as treatment plants come back online.
Danger and heartbreak a week out from what should be the happiest time of year.
And Kristy Sexton-McGrath joins me now from Cairns. Kristy, what a relief to see the rain easing, but what's the latest on drinking water supplies?
Well, good evening, Jess. Residents are being advised to conserve water after the city's main treatment plant became blocked. That's since been cleared, but it's going to take some time for water reservoirs to refill. There's been a steady stream of people being evacuated from the worst hit suburbs of Cairns, including Holloway's Beach and Machin's Beach today. The Army's been working alongside SES crews to transport people from their flooded homes to a bridge. It's the same bridge where we saw dozens of cattle stranded after they were washed away yesterday. Rescue efforts to save those animals were still ongoing by a dedicated group of volunteers today. The Cairns airport will reopen tomorrow after it was closed yesterday due to significant flooding, but the airport says it's up to operators to decide when they will resume flights. We've seen huge queues in supermarkets for food as residents residents begin to return to the stores, power still remains an issue for some residents across the region. There's around 13,000 people without electricity across the far north. Around 6,000 of those are here in Cairns. That's also affecting Telstra services. About 20 mobile sites are off the air. Jess, there's still some flood warnings in place, but they are minor flood warnings, hopefully giving residents a chance to clean up.
Yeah, such a big job ahead. Kristy Sexton-McGrath, thank you so much. Well, the astonishing volume of rain caught many by surprise. Jenny Woodward explains why ex-tropical cyclone Jasper has lingered for so long.
Tropical residents are well versed and rehearsed in the way of cyclones, but tropical cyclone Jasper has defied all expectation and anticipation. Now, I've been at the weather maps for nearly 40 years and I have never seen anything like it. Rainfall totals day after day of more than half a metre, with some totals tipping over 700 and 800 millimetres. Now, while the cyclone crossed the coast as expected on Wednesday night, it was what happened next that no one could have predicted. The now ex-cyclone stalled over the peninsula and developed a subtle trough to the northeast. So that meant warm and very moist northeasterly winds converging into a slightly cooler east-southeasterly air mass. And that convergence line was like an 8-lane highway for moisture to feed in, rise up and then tumble from the clouds in the torrential downpours. But the problem was it wasn't moving, as we had a fairly weak pressure pattern over the rest of the country and there was nothing to steer the system away. And that pattern persisted for 5 days. The very heavy falls stretched from about the Daintree to Tully and into the tropical mountain ranges. And it was the mountains that trapped the torrential falls in that narrow coastal strip, although there was still plenty of 100 to 200 millimetre totals on the ranges. With falls of more than 2 metres over the past 5 days, it's been impossible for the water to drain away. And that was exacerbated by the high tide, where more water is pushing into the tidal river systems. A ridge is now starting to push up the coast and that will steer the low away, so the very heavy rain should clear to the north and there's little risk of the system redeveloping into a cyclone. But there will still be lingering widespread showers and storms which will only add to the clean-up woes.